Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a problem that I'm willing to bet every single one of you has faced at some point. You know that feeling when you're lying in bed at night and suddenly your mind starts racing? You're thinking about that project due next week, the bills you need to pay next month, your career 5 years from now. And before you know it, you're imagining every possible scenario for the rest of your life. It's overwhelming, right? You feel paralyzed, anxious, maybe even a little hopeless. It's like you're trying to carry the weight of your entire future on your shoulders right now. And let me tell you, that's a recipe for stress, anxiety, and burnout. But here's the thing, this isn't a new problem. People have been grappling with this for thousands of years, and you know who had some pretty incredible insights on how to deal with it: the Stoics. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Stoicism? Isn't that just about suppressing your emotions and enduring hardship? Well, not exactly. Stoicism is actually a practical philosophy for living a good life, especially when it comes to managing our thoughts and emotions. One of the most famous Stoic philosophers, Marcus Aurelius, gave us this gem of wisdom: do not disturb yourself by imagining your whole life at once. And that's what we're going to unpack today. In this video, we're going to explore 11 Stoic principles that can help you stop overwhelming yourself by imagining your whole life at once. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical tools you can start using right away to find more peace, focus, and effectiveness in your daily life. So grab a notebook, because you're about to learn some life-changing wisdom that's been helping people stay grounded for over 2,000 years. Let's dive in. Lesson 1. Focus on the present moment. The first and most fundamental principle is to focus on the present moment. The Stoics believed that the present is the only time we truly have control over. Seneca, another famous Stoic, said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." Start by practicing mindfulness. When you catch your mind wandering to future worries, gently bring it back to the present. What can you see, hear, feel right now? What task is in front of you? By anchoring yourself in the present, you'll find it easier to let go of overwhelming future scenarios. Lesson 2. Break big tasks into smaller steps. When we imagine our whole life at once, everything can seem impossibly big. The Stoics advocated for breaking down large tasks into smaller, manageable steps. Epictetus advised, "Don't let life discourage you. Everyone who got where he is had to begin where he was." Instead of worrying about your entire career, focus on what you can do today to move forward. Break your big goals into weekly, daily, or even hourly tasks. This makes progress feel more achievable and less overwhelming. Lesson 3. Practice negative visualization in moderation. This might sound counterintuitive, but the Stoics actually recommended visualizing negative scenarios in moderation. The key is to do this as a way to appreciate the present, not to stress about the future. Seneca said, "He who fears he will suffer already suffers because he fears." Try this. Briefly, imagine losing something you value. Then, return to your current reality and appreciate what you have now. This practice can help you feel more grateful for the present and less anxious about potential future losses. Lesson 4. Cultivate acceptance of what you can't control. A core tenet of Stoicism is accepting what's outside of our control. When we imagine our whole life at once, We often worry about things we can't influence. Epictetus famously said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." Make a list of things you're worrying about. Then, honestly, assess which of these you can control and which you can't. For the things you can't control, practice acceptance. This doesn't mean giving up, but rather focusing your energy where it can make a difference. Lesson 5. Develop a morning routine. The Stoics placed great importance on starting the day right. A morning routine can help ground you in the present and set a positive tone for the day. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Try developing a morning routine that includes reflection, setting intentions for the day, and perhaps some physical exercise. This can help you focus on the day ahead rather than getting lost in thoughts of the distant future. Lesson 6. Practice gratitude. Gratitude was a key practice for the Stoics. When we're grateful for what we have now, we're less likely to get caught up in anxious thoughts about the future. Epictetus advised, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Each day, try writing down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. It could be a good meal, a kind word from a friend, or a beautiful sunset. This practice can help shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. Lesson 7. Embrace impermanence. The Stoics understood that everything in life is temporary. While this might sound depressing, it can actually be liberating when we're overwhelmed by thoughts of the future. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is like a river made up of the events which happen and a violent stream. For as soon as a thing has been seen, it is carried away, and another comes in its place, and this will be carried away too." Remember that both good and bad times are temporary. This can help you appreciate good moments more fully and endure difficult times with more resilience. Lesson 8. Focus on your character, not external outcomes. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from developing our character, not from external achievements or possessions. Epictetus said, "You are not your body and hairstyle, but your capacity for choosing well. If your choices are beautiful, so too will you be." Instead of worrying about future accomplishments, focus on developing virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. These are things you can work on right now, regardless of external circumstances. Lesson 9. Practice regular self-reflection. The Stoics were big on self-reflection. This helps us stay grounded in the present and make continual improvements. Seneca advised, "I will keep constant watch over myself and most usefully will put each day up for review." Try ending each day with a brief reflection. What went well? What could you improve? This practice keeps you focused on daily growth rather than getting lost in thoughts of the distant future. Lesson 10. Cultivate meaningful relationships. While the Stoics emphasized self-reliance, they also understood the importance of human connections. Strong relationships can help anchor us in the present. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "After friendship is formed, you must trust, but before that, you must judge." Invest time in nurturing your relationships. Meaningful connections with others can provide support, joy, and a sense of purpose that keeps you grounded in the present. Lesson 11. Remember your mortality. This might sound morbid, But the Stoics believed that remembering our mortality can actually help us live more fully in the present. Marcus Aurelius advised, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Reflecting on the finite nature of life can help us prioritize what's truly important and let go of trivial worries about the future. It encourages us to make the most of each day, rather than getting lost in anxious thoughts about years to come. There you have it, 11 Stoic principles to help you stop overwhelming yourself by imagining your whole life at once. Now, I want to be clear. These aren't magic solutions that will instantly solve all your problems. Changing thought patterns takes time and practice, but what these Stoic principles offer is a framework for living more fully in the present, making the most of each day, and finding peace amidst life's uncertainties. They remind us that while it's good to plan for the future, we shouldn't let those plans rob us of the only time we truly have right now. Remember what Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not disturb yourself by imagining your whole life at once. Take it one day at a time, one task at a time, one moment at a time." I encourage you to pick one or two of these principles and start applying them in your life. Maybe it's practicing daily gratitude, or breaking big tasks into smaller steps, or starting a morning routine. Start small. Be patient with yourself and see how these ancient wisdom can bring new clarity and calm to your modern life. As Epictetus said, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. By focusing on what you can control in the present moment, you can find more peace, purpose, and effectiveness in your daily life. Thanks for watching, and remember, your whole life doesn't have to be figured out right now. Take it one day at a time. I'll see you in the next video.